Dark greetings, friends.
Dark greetings.
How goes it?
The penultimate stream.
The penultimate Vinland Saga stream. It's been a fucking journey. And now we're almost at the end.
Which is crazy that it feels like it's gone quickly because we did have to take a few weeks off.
Yeah, so what the fuck is up with that, first of all?
So it's been extended, really. And yet.
This sure was a batch of episodes, all right.
That's true. It sure was.
Whew, we got heavy.
Yes. I would say
pretty heavy.
Some unexpected, mostly unexpected, actually.
I would agree.
Occurrences. And yeah, very upsetting occurrences as well.
Indeed. But kicking it off with, I believe it's episode 16?
Yes. There we go. I found my notes.
Einar is such a good dude.
Once again, showing what true love looks like.
There must be something I can do for Arnheid. Oh my god. Always thinking about her in like the most selfless way imaginable.
Yeah.
King shit.
He only cares about her.
We love to see it. But we learned that Arnheid did in fact free Garter at the end of episode 15.
Yeah, I admit I was very confused when she was just like there.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, I thought they like ran off together. It's like, oh, but did she actually release him? Or did like she run away? And then like how did how did all this happen?
Yeah. But God, these episodes were fucking heavy, man.
Yes. Sorry, I had my space heater on and I'm roasting. I have to turn it off.
Fair enough. I just watched these. Why do my notes feel so unintelligible to me?
I don't know. I didn't take very many notes on this episode.
I didn't have a shit ton of notes for any of these. And I feel like, once again, it's a situation where, like, a lot happens, but also there's, like, it's so weird. It's like the plot does move forward, but we spend so much time on, like, introspection and character development that it feels redundant to take notes on it all.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it too is there aren't a lot of things that are open for interpretation.
Yeah.
Because I feel like normally something happens and we're like, oh, what does this mean? What is it? And it's like, no, that's pretty clear.
Pretty clear. But shout out to the old master for helping Arnheid in his own way.
Yeah, I feel like this further exemplifies like characters who often seem nice end up being bad guys, but then like cantankerous old men end up being some of the best. Like,
yeah. But holy shit, this poor fucking woman.
There's no end.
Going through it in every sense of the word. It just keeps getting worse.
And she has done nothing wrong.
She has done absolutely nothing wrong in her entire life.
No, and she's just like so nice despite her circumstances. Like, I'd be pissed.
Oh my god, same.
Probably be lashing out at people. Not her, no.
Yeah, Einar is such a good man for immediately being like, what can I do to help in this situation? And Thorfinn is such a fucking real one for being like, you know what, screw it, I'm in.
Yeah, which I am surprised because they're so close to their freedom. Like, they are so close, and they're like, you know what? Who cares? Let's do this.
Although I will say, this group of episodes does have me wondering what the fuck Snake's backstory is, and if we're ever going to get it.
I feel like we have to.
Yeah, I'm certainly curious.
Yeah. Yeah, because he does say the thing about, I can't remember if it was in this episode, but he does say the thing about like how they did such terrible things in their lives that they have to go by aliases.
Yeah, that and like mentioning where he's from, I think in the last episode of this group.
Yeah, that explains why they all have animal names, but
it does. I was wondering, I don't know if this is when the old master said, "Oh, I was involved a lot." Like Thorfinn was like, "Oh, we don't want to involve you in the situation." He was like, "Oh, I was involved a long time ago," and I'm just wondering, like, what do you mean?
So I took that to mean that, like, while he was overhearing them talking, like I think it was last week when
Mm-hmm.
she was telling the story about her husband and how he was getting kind of like emotionally caught up and then wanted to talk to her about,
Yeah,
like Kettle's past. But then later on I figured it had something to do with where they were hiding Garter.
yeah. Um, but yeah, this is just getting so intense.
Yeah.
And we see Askeladd again briefly.
Yeah. My very next note just says Askeladd.
That's exactly what mine says.
It's nice to see him, even if it's not really
I
him, and even if it's briefly.
like that guy. I really do.
Yep. Yeah, it's one of those things you don't realize what you had until it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, buddy, just hearing his voice makes me so happy.
Yeah. And at the conclusion of this episode, I was kind of like, oh, is it epic battle time? I can't imagine having, like, oh, it would have sucked to have to wait for that.
Yeah. No, I said, Violent Thorfinn is back.
Oh, excuse me.
He gets in his, like, dagger stance. He's ready, man.
We love to see it.
Mm-hmm. Which I feel bad being that excited that I was like, oh, he's going to get violent, going against his own oath.
I do feel a little bad, but, like, whatever.
He's a drawing. It's fine.
It's fine.
If he were a real person, I wouldn't, think so.
Understandable. I feel as though why do I have so few notes? Because, like, so much happens, and yet it feels like there's so little to remark on.
Yeah. Yeah, so trying to think if we missed anything in that, but it's like we come across Arnheid, we learn that she's hidden Garter. Thorfinn and Einar decide to help her, and then
because they like
Snake
it's not that
appears.
it's not that the show like draws out conversations to unnecessary lengths. It's that there's sort of a verisimilitude to this, where like, yeah, this is probably the amount of time that this conversation would actually take. Because sometimes in anime, like, you got to make it real snappy.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, we would definitely have to unpack that a little more in real life, but they do a lot of the unpacking for you.
Well, and there is a lot of like internal stuff as well, like Thorfinn's like conversation with Askeladd. And,
yeah.
So it takes longer than it probably even would in real life because of that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I think those are really just the things that happened, right? We find out what happened with Arnheid and Garter. The two of them decide to help, and then Snake shows up to fight Thorfinn. That's basically
pretty much.
Yeah.
Or, well, I mean, we have them putting their plan into action with Einar posing as Garter off in the distance to try and draw them off.
Yeah, that was
which was implied. A good plan.
Yeah, that was implied in they decided to help part. But yeah, we covered everything.
Although one thing I was slightly confused about: why would Snake leave his horse?
To sneak up on him.
Oh yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Because he specifically says, like, I didn't hear a horse. It's like,
yeah,
that buddy, that was his plan.
That was indeed his plan. Yeah, I guess that is it for this one.
Yeah. That's all of my notes on it.
Second episode in this group, they have Snake briefly mention where he's, like, his homeland, or I can't remember.
Mecklegard or something like that?
Yeah, so I'm wondering where he's from.
Because I remember him saying it and thinking, like, that totally sounds like a place there would be in Skyrim.
Right? Again, watching this show makes me want to play Skyrim. For the fight between Snake and Thorfinn, I liked the opposing internal monologues that we had going on.
Yeah. Both just being, like, real impressed with the other.
Mm-hmm. And once again, the animation of, like, the fight choreography is fucking fantastic.
Which is, like, it's funny because Snake is like all impressed with Thorfinn, and Thorfinn's like all impressed with Snake, but it's like, yeah, but Snake has a sword.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Thorfinn's more impressive in this scenario.
Yeah, because he's holding his own without a weapon.
And the fact that then Snake has a sword and still can't win
Still can't even
against
get
an
him. I
unarmed
do
man.
wonder if we're ever going to get to see Thorfinn with his daggers again.
Hope. I miss badass
I
Thorfinn.
really do hope so. Because, I mean, on the one hand, we have his sort of vow to be non-violent, but on the other hand, like, I wonder what happened to his like his father's dagger in particular, because like that's the
Yeah.
only thing he's got left of him.
Yeah, it was so important to him. I don't know if we'll ever hear about that again because they seem to have a habit of just like
Letting
glossing
things
over things
fade.
or yeah. It's like,
Um, at the sort of conclusion of this fight, I will say Snake sort of makes not necessarily the best point in the world, but he makes a point where he's like, you know, he killed Garter, referring to Garter. He killed 5 of my men. Like, why is his life worth more than theirs? And I was kind of like, ugh.
it's not, but at the same time, what does killing him actually accomplish? Like,
This is
it doesn't
also
do anything.
very true.
It's just more death.
It is
Like,
just more death, but like, I mean, you know, there's the whole Viking honor code.
yeah, it's stupid.
It is stupid, but this is what we have.
I keep just thinking about this notion of like pride being so important, and it's like that's one of the 7 deadly sins. Pride is supposed to be a bad thing.
Oh, well,
Right? Pride comes before the fall and all that. I know that's all like, yeah.
yeah.
I just never understood.
But my jaw fucking dropped when he actually stabbed Garter.
I didn't actually expect him
No, I didn't think he was
to
going to
get
follow
fully
through with
cynical.
it.
No, I thought he was somehow going to get stopped at the last second or change his mind. Like, actually, at first, I thought that the sword was like at a weird angle and he had just like touched him with it or something to make a point. And then I was like, wait,
Nope.
no, he got
Nope.
stabby stabbed.
He fucking really got him.
Got an extra hole in him. Yeah,
You hate to see it.
he had enough already.
But this episode, I don't have a lot of notes on this episode because it's all just the fucking introspection of a dying man.
Yes, because he doesn't die right away.
He does not die right away. He hangs on for a fucking while.
So I had written that I didn't expect Garter to actually get killed, and then of course he jumps up, and I was like, dude came back from the grave when his wife was threatened.
Which, like, slay.
Because Snake turned and I was like, oh, now we got to figure out what to do with you guys. You need to be punished. And all of a sudden, he's alive.
Boom, getting choked out.
Yep. It's like, don't you dare threaten Arnhide.
Love that. It was oddly sweet of her to lie the way that she did and say that like Yelty was fine and he was just staying with Garter's brother while, you know, they were off to battle and shit like that. I was like, oh wow. This is so sad. Like it's so sweet, but it's so fucking sad.
They knew he wasn't.
Yeah, no, you know he's not gonna fucking make it.
I mean, he was barely hanging on before that last stab. So.
Mm-hmm. Also, what is it with this show and piss? There's so many episodes where they like animate the stream, and I don't know why it's necessary.
I don't know. It's a fetish, I guess.
And I knew this was like I knew they weren't gonna like make it or whatever because again the man is fucking actively dying.
Yeah.
But oh God, when they got caught at the end and it just fades to black, I was just like, Jesus, man.
Yeah.
There's this. This was probably one of the heaviest ones thus far.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly only seconded by the next episode.
The one after.
It gets worse.
Yeah. So I did have a few other notes on this episode.
Oh, please go for it.
First of all, I thought it was weird that they were just riding along in silence rather than trying to like make the most of the time they had left.
Here's the yes, but also like, what do you even fucking say at that point?
Yeah, I suppose. But like we see the flashbacks and like very much confirming the whole thing was about money. Like the whole reason they went to war in the first place.
Which, and I mean, at least when he was still like lucid, like 2-3 episodes ago, he did say that he was sorry. Like, I mean, it's
Yeah.
obviously not enough, but like he was sorry.
Yeah. I mean, he could
Hello.
be. Yeah.
We've
Hello.
got a chatter. What's up? We're talking about is this
Yes, it
live,
is.
madam? Yes, it's live indeed. We are talking about episodes 16 through 18 of the second season of Vinland Saga. So, spoiler warning for you, and also reverse spoiler warning. Please don't tell us what happens in episodes 19 through 21.
Yeah, there we go.
Who dis? I'm Bridget, and this is Dr. Brookes. If you've never seen our stream before, welcome. What is that show? Vinland Saga is an anime series that you are definitely about to have spoiled for yourself. But if you don't care, please stick around.
Yeah, so he apologizes, but
Is she a real doctor? Yes, she does have a PhD. She's not the medical kind of doctor, but definitely has all the years of school
I
to
am
prove
not
it.
a physician, but I have a
Not a
doctorate.
physician, but a doctor.
A doctor is not a profession, it is a degree.
Noted.
That is an important distinction. It's a physician. Physicians have medical doctorates, but they're not. Anyway. Communication.
We're getting interviewed here. This is kind of fun.
Media. Yeah, I study TV shows and movies and whatnot. So like,
which is exactly why we talk about it for fun when you're not working.
Yeah, it's my life. But he apologizes, which I mean, of course he's going to do that because all the bad things that happened
are like his fault, which is like a fucked up thing to say, but
I don't know that like he realizes that the reasoning for it was also problematic.
Probably
I think he's apologizing
not.
Yeah. So it's like, really, you just say you want to like think of the wealth, we'll live comfortably, and it's like, dude, you were fine.
Yeah, you didn't need to do this. None of this had to happen.
Yeah. Now, I have 2 more notes, and they're on the deeper side.
Please hit me with it.
One, as he is dying, he says to Arnheid that he loves her and their son like so much. I thought that they didn't understand the concept of love.
They're Swedish, though.
Oh, that's true.
They're not Vikings.
I forgot about that. So maybe they did have the concept of love in Sweden. So it feels like such a weird thing to say, but
I don't have a Swedish person we can ask.
Aww.
Unfortunately.
Everybody knows a Swedish person who was alive.
Or just in general, does the Swedish language allow for that?
It's like 1,000 years ago, isn't it?
Probably.
Yeah. If you were alive 1,000 years ago in Sweden, let us know.
Hit us up. So sorry for ruining your deep thought there, bestie.
Yeah. I don't know why in my head everybody's just a Viking. Like they're all Vikings in my head, even though I know they're not. But
fair enough.
But my last one is deep and sort of a dark and depressing thought.
Okay, I'm prepared.
So like one of the last things that we see from Garter before he's like officially dead is he's like he walks up and sees his son on a swing and they get excited and they hug each other. Does that mean the kid is dead?
I would assume so.
So they're like essentially meeting up again in like heaven.
Yeah, which like it's that I guess is a good, nice notion, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's real sad. Like,
why are we doing a podcast about a show? Technically, this isn't our podcast. Our podcast is Wednesday nights. This is we do TV, and why is a doctor doing it? Because she's a doctor of TV.
That's
essentially what you are
now on. I'm a doctor of TV.
Because we both really like TV and movies, and we're both having a lot of fun exploring anime together, because that was the thing that we both were not particularly familiar with when we started doing the streams.
Yep. But for like 3 years now?
Since when are they making TV doctors? How long would you say that's been a thing where you could get a degree in entertainment media, essentially?
Probably, gosh, that's actually really hard to pinpoint.
Right? The 80s, maybe? Now that I'm thinking about it.
I mean, because technically people have been researchers, like have been researching like TV since back in like the 1950s, but I don't know that that was anyone's like super specific specialty where they would say they were a TV doctor for a while after that.
We should find a way to incorporate TV doctor into our podcast branding. Because one, it's not inaccurate, and two, it's funny as hell.
Yeah. Well, we'll say several decades at this point.
Imagine going into student debt to become a TV doctor. Stop roasting her.
I didn't pay a single cent for my master's or my PhD. They paid me, so.
Good for you. Fucking get that bag, girl.
Uh-huh.
That's how much I had to explain. Did I tell you I had to explain Get a Bag to Arthur live on Regrettable Reviews the other night?
No. The other night.
Or the last time we did Regrettable Reviews.
When I was a guest? That was the last one.
Maybe. You just not remember that?
You know what? I do. I did not grift the government. The school that I went to paid for it.
Love that.
Because I was that desirable. That's noisy.
Sly. Okay. But yeah, the ending of this episode is just so fucking dark. Like, just the horses approaching the carriage as she's there holding the body of her husband. Yeesh.
And especially after having just essentially confirmed that her son is dead.
Yeah, confirmed that her son is, like, you really do hate to see it.
Like, I was really holding out hope for that one, because they don't really see him get killed, but it's like...
Do you work at Netflix? No, we would be making a lot more money if we worked at Netflix.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? No.
Wouldn't it be nice indeed? But do you have anything else to say about this extremely dark episode before we move on to the next even darker episode?
No, the dead kid was my last note.
Very nice. All right. So bringing us to episode 18 of season 2, we have a brief moment of going back to Canute and the Jomsvikings.
Canute!
My boy, my morally gray boy.
Yeah, my first two notes are Canute is back, fuck off, Floki.
You hate to see it. He has
every time I see him.
Stupidest hair shape, by the way. It's square.
Square freaking beard. Like, why?
Dumb as shit.
That prissy little man, how hard does he work to keep things so square?
I know.
You're taking a break from the battlefield to square up your beard.
Also, this is just another sort of remark on the quality of the animation here. The water animation is really good.
Yeah.
I was impressed by that. Kettle still being in the barrel after that entire journey, just like hiding in his shame barrel for literal days on end, that did make me laugh.
Yeah, well, and you gotta wonder if it was like stewing about everything that happened or being in a barrel for that long that drove him insane. But
we'll get to this, but he loses his fucking mind this episode.
Yeah, but also, like, Thorgil, super disrespectful to your dad.
Thorgil is extremely disrespectful, and he's also very nonchalant about all of this battle business.
Oh, no, he's not nonchalant. He is jazzed.
Yeah, actually, that's a much better word.
He's like smiling.
He's particularly jazzed. And Omar seems to, like, one, still hate that guy, but two, he seems to actually realize the weight of a situation for once in his fucking life.
Mm-hmm. I think he realized he's gotten in over his head.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, shit, I thought I wanted this, but clearly not.
And then, of course, we have to contend with the fact that Kettle has no idea what went down while he was away. if he thought things were bad when he left, or if he thought things were bad as he was coming back, now that he's actually here, it's 10 times worse.
Oh yeah, things are just really compounding because he's already just like losing it from everything that happened at that point.
Yeah, this episode really kind of changed my opinion of him as a character.
Well, yeah, which I mean, it absolutely does, but at the same time, it's like, imagine being in his situation, how it would like drive you to the edge.
Yeah, there's like, I don't necessarily know that it's his quote unquote fault that he loses his fucking mind. Because there's a lot of things that happened there's a lot of things that like happened to him, not like happened because of him or like, you know, the consequences of his actions necessarily.
Yeah, much like Arnheid, he didn't really do anything wrong.
Yeah, a lot of outside forces sort of conspiring or like just piling up.
Yeah, and it's like, so on one hand, it's like, well, yeah, but he had to go through he's gone through all this terrible stuff, right? It's like super upsetting. But at the same time, it's like, to an extent, you get to control how you act.
Yeah.
Like, you can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you react to it.
Explanation, but not excuse.
Yes.
And we have a brief interlude of Thorfinn still sort of attempting to work out his philosophy on violence, because when he's talking with Einar, when they're both tied up, he does make some solid points about how, like, you know, violence shouldn't be the first option, but sometimes it does have to be an option. Like, sometimes if you're backed into a corner, you do have to fight.
Yeah, he's coming around a little bit. Although he says the thing about how, like, nobody ever deserves to get hurt. False.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I don't agree with that, buddy. Like, that's a noble thought to have, but I don't think it's true.
But there are some people who do deserve it.
Just a little.
Like, somebody's, you know, a domestic abuser.
Yeah, fuck
that person deserves to get hurt. I'll take.
Oh, and I feel like this would have been a bombshell like 2 weeks ago. The fact that Ketil's wife does indeed know about Arnheid.
Yeah.
We don't work for any company.
We're unemployed.
Yes, we're unemployed. No, we're not unemployed. We represent no media company whatsoever.
Accurate.
We're just a podcast. We're just part of a podcast
thing
network.
We do for fun.
Yep.
It's for funsies. Nothing to do with our jobs, really, per se. Yeah, I mean, so yeah, she definitely knows, which we did speculate about at some point. And I think it was just last week I said she has to know because it seems to be an open secret.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of the things I wrote down is like, what is Petar doing? Because he was talking about like, oh, you should like offer. He was talking to Leif, who has made it to where Thorfinn is, which is crazy. Yay, indeed. But he was talking to Leif, and he was saying like, oh, you should like, if you have enough, you should buy the freedom of these two other people. And I'm like, what's his plan? Like, one, is this how they all get freed? And two, like, what's his plan here? Like. Yeah, not even necessarily that he had, like, maybe he does just like want to help, like have a genuine desire to help, because he's shown himself to be a pretty decent dude. Guy. Unemployment writer on Twitch is looking for a job at Wendy's. Sure, you know what? You can stream anything in this day and age. Fuck it, stream yourself applying to jobs.
Yeah, yeah. What were we just talking about? I lost my thought.
Petar being a generally decent dude.
Petar. Yes, he seems like a really nice guy. My interpretation was that he was doing that because he knew that if they didn't get out of there, they were probably all pretty much fucked. Like,
you make an excellent point. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, Einar had tried to help her escape. She had tried to escape. He's like, well,
and Thorfinn was involved.
They're in trouble. So, like, can you just throw some money at it? And, like, save them all? That'd be great.
And as if Arnheid has not been through enough, is that show an anime? Yes, it is. Yep. Available on Netflix. Highly recommend. Um, as if Arnhide hasn't been through enough, we have this nasty guest getting all handsy.
Men.
Men indeed. You fucking hate to see it.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I mean, that's pretty dark too, though, what he says to her.
Oh god, like again, jaw on the floor.
Yeah. Ugh.
And then this is the moment where I would say that Kettle really truly loses. Have you seen Kung Fu Panda? Yes, I have, but it's been a long ass time.
Yeah.
But this is the point I would say where Kettle really truly loses his mind when he learns that Arnhide tried to escape. And one, I was shocked that he actually, like, he came in with the stick. I was shocked that he actually hit her in the first place.
Oh, yeah.
And then when it kept going.
Yeah, in retrospect, though, like, the sheer number of times somebody said something along the lines of, oh, she's going to get a slap on the wrist. Oh, he would never actually really punish her. Oh, he'd never actually hit her. Like, kind of, they were setting us up.
They're setting you up for that one. But yeah, God, this end of this one is so dark.
Yeah,
it's a bad situation for fucking everybody. She gets beaten within an inch of her goddamn life, and Kettle outright refuses to ever get rid of her.
Yeah, like you don't know if the baby survived.
Yeah, so that's extra fucked.
Like, yeah, and confirms something that we had talked about before, like this idea that he's never gonna let her go.
No, absolutely not, which is so fucked.
And honestly, again, there's at least some reasoning for why he lost it, right? But the one thing that I feel like is entirely unforgivable is where he says that woman is my property, because clearly he thought that all along.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He tries to act like he's not like the other slavers, where he's like, oh yeah, no, I'll like free you. I treat you like real people. And it's like,
but do you? Yeah, the whole like, oh, I'll let you buy your freedom. And that's kind of what, like, again, putting this in historical context where this was an unfortunate but very common practice. Like, that's why I kind of, up until this point, thought he was a decent guy. Because it's like, oh, he doesn't like, he does treat them decently and he lets them buy their freedom. But now I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, no, I think this kind of revealed what he actually thinks.
Yeah, which is deeply disturbing.
Or maybe it is a gender thing.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was, seeing as we are talking about literally 1,000 years ago.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he's making that offer to Thorfinn and Einar, and he did to Peter, but
yeah.
So,
although I do wonder if Arnhide is a particularly special case because he has the hots for her, but there's no other, like, because I mean, she essentially serves the function of like a housemaid.
Yeah.
There's no other sort of like housemaid slaves for us to compare to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. It seems like his wife does the same kind of work.
Yeah, but the ending of this is just, ugh, God, poor Einar.
I don't know if I just missed something, but wasn't that at the very end Leif standing in the same room as Thorfinn?
Oh shit, was it? You might be right.
I'm pretty sure, which I was like,
is this series about slavery? In a roundabout way, it sort of is. It's about Vikings, and some of the characters get defeated in battle and sold into slavery.
But it's like, how are they going to deprive us of the reunion between Thorfinn and Leif? Like, the look on Leif's face when he sees it truly is Thorfinn, like.
And I don't remember if they are actually in the same room, so I'm gonna kind of hold out hope for that.
That's why I was like, I thought I was losing my mind for a second. That's like, did I see what I thought I saw? And then it was kind of like over, And I was like, oh, loony.
Hello.
Something outside is very important to her.
I'm really wondering what the hell is going to happen when Why is your name Big Dumb Monsters? Because that is the name of our podcast network, Big Dumb Monsters Podcast Network, and that is the name of one of the other shows on the network.
And they discuss horror movies, which is why they're called Big Dumb Monsters.
Yes. Where was I going?
No.
I don't remember.
We do not live in LA. We're in New York State.
New York, baby. Damn. My whole train of thought just...
The ending...
Why not Hollywood? Because we are too poor for that.
Hold on.
Holding on.
They are in the same room.
Oh, shit, dog. Okay, so then, yeah, I wonder if they just, like, haven't realized what's good. Huh.
There we go. Right next to each other, looking at Arnheid.
So maybe
really?
like, I mean, I hope they give it the gravitas it deserves in the next couple of episodes. Oh, that's where I was going. Where do we think this is headed? Because I'm assuming there's going to be some huge confrontation when Canute does land at Kettle's farm.
Yeah, I think the next immediate thing we're going to see is sort of the fallout of what Kettle did to Arnheid.
Oh, absolutely.
I think he's got to somewhat come to his senses, maybe, and realize.
I don't know about that because of the fact that it ended with the sword.
Yeah, well, that's for fighting.
This is also very true. Yeah, I get the feeling we're gonna get a bit. Do you guys play League of Legends? I do not.
Nope. Yeah, I think we're headed toward that big war, of course.
Yeah, we're headed towards a very, I think, climactic battle sequence, at least for the season.
Which to me is just wild, by the way. Imagine, like, when I think of war, I think of, like, entire countries and, like, imagine having a war at your house.
That's what happened back in these days. I know, but it's just fucking insane. Nuts.
It's like, all right, let's have a war in the backyard.
Sure, why not? I guess.
No, just it's wild to me. Yeah, so definitely that.
I wonder if Canute is going to see Thorfinn again.
That's what I was just about to bring up. It's like Thorfinn and Canute will be in the same place again, and if they do see each other, like,
what are they going to think?
Yeah,
of each other because they're both so different.
Because Thorfinn got like kinder and gentler, and Canute got like harder and like, you know,
yeah,
it's like
both went in like, very opposite directions. But the last time they saw each other, they were both what, like 15?
Yeah, I would think Canute should be somewhat grateful to Thorfinn because he kind of like, you know, knocked him out of his shell a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. I would hope so.
He also gave him that badass scar.
That he did. But, and Thorfinn has a badass scar now too.
Yeah, but it's interesting to think about what Thorfinn would think, him being so different and being so like remorseful about his past.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can imagine him just like apologizing to Canute.
Yeah,
I was like a insufferable piece of crap back then.
Yeah, no, I kind of could see that happening. Honestly, that does seem like a vague possibility.
But also, Floki is on the ship. Fuck that guy.
Oh, yeah. Fuck that guy big time.
And Thorfinn knows, right?
I think he does know who he is.
But that he paid Askeladd to kill Thors?
Yeah. Oh, man, it's been a hot minute. Yes, I think. Maybe.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, there's a real lack of transparency with the people in this show.
Like, but is that not what happens when everyone at play is like an army for hire in some way, shape, or form?
But I'm even referring back to like
Oh, hey,
Einar.
Boots.
Oh, hey, Bits. Not yet. What? Not yet.
Oh, play League.
Oh. Lost my train of thought again. So distractible.
Indeed. And I lost your train of
Oh,
thought too.
I was referring back like the people not being transparent with each other. I was talking about like Einar not telling Thorfinn that Leif
Oh
was
yeah, he
looking
never told Thorfinn that Leif was looking for him.
that so that I wonder if that'll come up. Probably not.
Probably not. One would hope. Oh my god,
Yeah.
excuse me. I'm fucking tired.
Yeah. Or like Thorkel never finding out that Askeladd was the one that killed Thor's.
Oh yeah.
Right. So there's
I
like
wonder
a
what
lot
he's
of
up to.
I know. I miss my boy.
I miss your boy too.
Oh, thank you, Boots.
Oh, sweet.
We couldn't remember. Appreciated.
Thank you, brother.
So that'd be interesting if he does find out.
Yeah, that would definitely complicate things even further. Do we have any further thoughts?
I don't think so. I mean, next week's our last one.
That's wild. I'm wondering if they're going to leave us on some huge cliffhanger. I hope not, but probably.
That's what they always do. They, as in media people. They love doing it.
All right. Well, so join us next week. Where's the show at? It is on Netflix.
Yeah, we only have 3 episodes that we haven't watched yet, so we're talking about those next week.
Yes. So don't forget to tune in for that. It's gonna be fun. And what do we gotta plug? We gotta plug Saratoga Comic Con this weekend. We are gonna be there. It's gonna be a total blast, and we're probably, hopefully, fingers crossed, gonna have an episode of Drunken Disorderly from our hotel suite after the con. And we're also helping host the Battle of the Movies panel. We got the Big Dumb Monsters guys hosting the 18 plus trivia panel, sort of Saratoga Comic Con after dark. And then we're helping host the Battle of the Movies panel on Sunday with Assad. So that's going to be a good time. And let me get this little banner going here. You can go to thebullandbee.com and use code MONSTERMEAT at checkout for $5 off your online meat order. We love the Bull and Bee, and I cannot wait for us to do another event there. Whenever that winds up being.
Yeah. To answer Boots' question, Kettle and company have just gotten back to his farm, and Kettle has lost his mind. And has horribly beaten Arnheid, and that's kind of where it ends.
Yep. Very unfortunate.
Yep. Very sad.
All right. So make sure to catch us next week for the final 3 episodes. Thus far, I'm sure there's going to be a 3rd season at some point, but thus far, the final 3 episodes of Vinland Saga.
Before we go into gamer season, probably.
Yeah, it's going to be gamer season for a little while. I don't know what we're going to be playing, but we'll figure that out.
Yeah.
It'll be a fun little surprise for y'all.
We definitely have some fun 2-player games we can do.
I don't think you and I have ever done a 2-player game on stream. We definitely need to do that.
Nope, not on stream.
All right, so we're probably going to make that happen. But you'll have to wait and see what game we decide on, because we don't know ourselves yet.
Nope.
All right, thank you everybody for watching. We will see you again next week. Adios, y'all.
Thank you guys. See you in a couple days, Boots.